Thank you, Marie. Right, Stephen, are you going to lead us off, or is Amanda?
I'm happy to lead us off if Graham, you're happy for me to jump right in. Fantastic. So thank you very much, everybody. This is a decision we're proposing looking at modifying the existing refugee resettlement and support service contract by extending it for a period of up to 9 months, and also looking for approval for the associated spend up to 354,000, making the aggregated contract value between 2018 and 2022 up to 1,352,924. So by way of a little bit of background, this contract was originally set up back in 2018 to support the what is now known as UKRS, UK Resettlement Service Programme, supporting both the Syrian Vulnerable Persons Relocation Scheme and the wider Vulnerable Children's Relocation Scheme. The service aims to provide immediate assistance to beneficiaries upon their arrival, work with individuals on sort of individualised support plans, engage them in the wider community, support them with access to benefits, access to work, access to health services, whatever that particular family happened to require. We were in the process of so the contract is currently due to expire on the 28th of February 2022. As a result, we were in the process of looking at how we wish to take this contract forward, how we would look to re-tender it, what if any particular changes might be needed, etc. When the events that have been unfolding in Afghanistan over the last few months took place. Obviously at that point the focus reshifted into making sure that we could step up our Afghan response as quickly as we possibly could. Since then, an awful lot of work has gone in. We've got new systems in place, and we've got a number of families already resettled, and a number of families due to come in over the next sort of weeks and months. In order to make sure that we can support these families in the same way, we asked the existing support provider to take on these new individuals, and which the existing support provider, Two Saints, have been doing fantastically. We are therefore bringing this back at this point to ask for a 9-month extension, as at the moment there's a range of reasons for that. Some initial market engagement that took place shows that the market in this area isn't huge. There are some, but they're not huge, and a number of those providers are significantly engaged in the Afghan support work at the moment and not in a position to look to retender at this moment in time. We also need to be able to give the existing support providers some reassurance to help in terms of their ability to recruit. So they're looking to recruit a number of new support providers. So there's support officers to enable them for us to increase the number of families we are supporting. Recruitment is challenging at the moment. In order to do that, they need some assurance in terms of the length of being able to give length of contracts. And also, as it stands at this moment in time, as you may have seen, the Home Office, in conjunction with the new Department for Levelling Up Communities and Government, have issued some updates to the way that this service is going to work, which are by and large positive. It was originally planned to be a 12-month support programme for Afghan families. That has now been extended to a 3-year support programme, which is good news. They've also announced that families will have indefinite leave to remain from day one of arrival, as opposed to the 5 years that was originally put in place to start with. All of these are positive changes, but at this moment in time, we've yet to see a finalised updated funding instruction for that, to be completely clear exactly how that funding looks like. Between the writing of this report and today, as in the last sort of couple of days, we have seen a draft form of that, which we're going back to the Home Office to comment on, but we still have not yet seen a final version of that, which adds a little bit of uncertainty. So we are looking to extend by up to 9 months for those reasons. During that period of time, that will allow us to get over this current time of accepting families in and getting them settled. understanding a bit more of what the long-term funding position looks like, and give us time to look to re-tender this service in a form that will be sustainable over the longer term. In terms of the finance position, obviously any work that is undertaken either by ourselves, our district and borough council partners who we're working very closely with in relation to this programme, our support provider and anyone else at health and others who are involved, is funded through the Home Office. Each family comes with a degree of funding. Obviously there's some questions around exactly what that looks like as of the changes, but that's something we're working through. So in terms of budget pressure on the Hampshire County Council, it doesn't represent a new pressure as families come with that funding. In conclusion, those are the two requirements. The proposals we're putting forward. One is to give approval to modify the existing Refugee Resettlement Support Service contract by extension, as outlined in this report, for a period of 9 months, and also to approve the associated spend, again as outlined in the report.
Thank you, Stephen. Councillor Withers.
Chair, I thoroughly endorse those two recommendations. It makes common sense really to extend the contract for 9 months. A lot can happen in 9 months, and we don't really know what the true figure is going to be by that time. And also the funding, the amount that's going to be increased to 1,352,924. You know, it's obviously been costed and very sound judgment, so fully supportive.
Thank you. Councillor Carpenter.
Yes, I was really just going to ask Stephen how the operation is going so far, really, just in brief, obviously.
Yeah, I'd probably describe it as going very well in the circumstance. There are some frustrations, there are challenges. But in terms of both the logistical side of identifying properties, you know, working with all the partners, identifying properties, getting them set up and furnished and ready for people to move in, working with a support provider to make sure that they're met upon arrival, and that within the first sort of, you know, there's things you do in the first couple of days before they arrive to make sure that there's food in the fridge and that the property is ready. There's things you do on day one in terms of making sure that they're settled and know how to use the house and how to contact anyone in an emergency. And there's things you do in the first couple of days and weeks in terms of working out that support plan. So we've got a number of families who are at various stages through that, and it seems to be going fairly well. Obviously, I think there are obviously bits that would be good to go that can go faster. There are always frustrations in these processes, but we're working through it, and I'd say it's going well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm more than happy to endorse this, as you know. But if I could just ask one question: is anything being done to help the Afghanis who came here years ago, probably as illegal immigrants or as immigrants, got British citizenship, went back to Afghanistan, and are now using their British passports to come back here? Because I'm very worried that they will have no support network.
So the short answer to that question is yes. The slightly longer answer to that question is the as part of some of the changes, the Home Office have identified up to 8 different cohorts of individuals who were transferred over or who were evacuated from Afghanistan. As the first 2 are the ones that this programme is largely dealing with, which is those who were Afghan citizens who were supporting the armed forces, and those who were evacuated as being particularly vulnerable. But as you say, there are those that are British citizens and those that others. They're being identified by the Home Office and contacted and worked with by the Home Office. So yes, there are bits being done to support those individuals, not through this programme, but yes, through the work of the Home Office.
No, that's good. I just wondered if I was very worried that we'd have a cohort of people who were in limbo, really. Sorry, Graham, you want to come in?
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Councillor Fairhurst. Just really a couple of comments. So firstly, just to follow up on that, and I guess the previous question from Councillor Carpenter, some of the frustrations are born from the fact of the complications, the understandably complicated nature of some of the resettlement programme. So Stephen's reference to some things perhaps taking longer than we would like in an ideal world. It just really represents the breadth of issues that are needing to be picked up, resolved, sorted, in order to enable people to be properly welcomed and to settle, and particularly settle into new accommodation in Hampshire. It's been worked through. It's not that there's any particular challenges in terms of that cross-organisational, that cross-government working. It's just complicated. So we're working hard at it. There's great endeavour taking place. The other comment I just wanted to make, and firstly, almost really by way of an apology. So this is an additional decision day that we've needed to put into the decision-making calendar on the basis really of events, because all things being equal, we will have been proceeding in terms of re-procuring on the original timeline of this contract, but events clearly around us have changed in terms of Afghan evacuees. For the reasons that Stephen has already given, we've needed to give confidence to our support provider, Two Saints, so that they can recruit and retain, and we've got appropriate services in place. So my apologies, we've needed to put this additional decision day in. I think it's absolutely the right thing to extend for a further 9 months to give assurance and appropriate time to complete proper procurement as we go forward, given the ongoing operational response. And then my final comment was we did brief a number of members earlier this week, including Councillor Withers, Councillor Briggs, and also Councillor Harrison. And there was support certainly from Councillor Harrison from an opposition perspective to what was being proposed. I just wanted to be clear within meeting of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. Okay, right. Well, thank you very much, Stephen. As I say, more than happy to endorse this going forward. Okay. And thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.